Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. As you can see here, I've restarted the Endoflame coal dropper and I'm still manually feeding this with coal pieces, but I'm thinking of hooking that up to the ME system to auto-populate that chest with coal. And so what's going to happen is these guys are now feeding this mana pool, which is connected to a mana pump, which is connected to a new rail system that I built in between episodes. So the rail system is dumping out into several more mana pools here, all connected by mana pumps. And the mana pump's an interesting object, pretty simple to make. All you need is mana steel and Livingrock. And what it does is it can transfer mana into a minecart. Minecart. So there's a special kind of minecart with a mana pool that is, well, just a minecart with a mana pool that allows. Oops, let's push this forward. That allows transfer of mana. And so what I've done is I've kind of planned ahead. I'm going to dump some mana into these mana pools eventually, which is going to allow a refill. And it just kind of goes in the big circle here underneath the Endoflames, pumping mana out and pushing it back in. Now over here, I kind of recreated something I had in Agrarian Skies, which was the hand. Oh, it has a special name, and I'm forgetting it right here. The Ranu that's handy. So this guy is a pretty simple flower, actually, but what it can do is take any item that's dropped onto the flower and place it into an adjacent block. That the trick is you have to match the block type underneath on the block under the dirt. So you can see here that I placed down a nether brick underneath, and let me grab the stone back out, and what all that'll do is take here. You can see that there's a stone that's sitting here under the running carpus that is hooked up to drop in an open spot over here with this gadget. So what I have is a hovering hourglass that's sending a redstone pulse every 64 seconds to power a piston. And the piston shoves the stone forward one tick. And that's going to encounter the annihilation plane, which takes solid blocks and absorbs them into the ME system. So within a minute, 60 seconds, this stone will turn into a living rock. The living rock will then get pushed 4 seconds later into the annihilation plane, and that loop will continue as long as I keep pumping stone into this chest. And the chest is using basic logistical transporters to pull items out in a pull mode. And that's just heading back over to an open chest that is dropping items down into the running carpus. So that's a closed loop that's just going to keep pumping out more and more Livingrock. So I can check in on that later and see how much Livingrock it's actually producing. So in order to get that to work, I had to run a glass cable all the way through the base, and so it's not the most efficient thing, but I don't have access to quantum gates yet in my ME system. So I'm kind of stuck just waiting with what I've got. So down here in the crafting area, I've correction, in the production area, what I've done is I've taken the same principle, but slightly different. So I have an ME interface, and this is kind of a little known trick, but if you put items here up in the config section, it actually acts like it can pull items out of the ME inventory. And so it's actually acting like an internal inventory within this block that can then be affected by other devices. So I ended up creating another logistical sorter that pumps coal down and biofuel to the right through a green channel. The coal dumps into the steam boiler and keeps this continuously filled, and the biofuel then pumps directly into this network over here, which is keeping all 4 of the items completely tapped out. So that's then providing all the RF needs for my base. And what I also want to point out is up here in the upper right, I put in a crafting card in this ME interface. And so what this is doing is it's actually detecting that if I do not have any coal in my system, it's going to trigger a request to the crafting coprocessors to build another coal. And so same thing with the biofuel. It's sending carrots off to the crusher to create the fuel. So I don't even have to do anything anymore. That's going to update automatically, which is pretty cool. Now over here, I've added a couple more pieces of automation, and I'm kind of stuck doing it this way. I don't see a way to toggle, but what I have is a need to create circuit boards. So Carpenter, basic circuit board, enhanced circuit board, iron circuit board is the refined, and a gold circuit board, which is the intricate. And each one of these is paired with another ME interface, which is providing encoded patterns of each of the circuit boards. So all I need to do to request that is I can put this in a craftable mode, so I can just easily request up, let's say, 10 gold circuit boards, and that will route, because of this, all the items into the internal inventory here within the Carpenter block. And so the Carpenter block will then use this pattern and craft up the circuit board, where it will place it in the output inventory here, which will then be sucked out through logistical pipes back to this holding chest, which will go back in the ME system using import buses. So this is I can replace these pipes with some faster pipes eventually, but for now, that's working pretty cool. I've also been throwing acceleration cards into these inscribers, so that way I can hopefully speed this up a tiny, tiny bit. So, upstairs. Not much has changed here. I've did a little bit of exploring with a charge pad. Not quite sure if I have anything I can do with it yet. On the middle level here, I've also expanded the molecular assemblers. I put all of the, I kind of preloaded ME interfaces out here, hooked them up with dense cable. So 10 channels are powering all of these interfaces, and that's going all the way up to one of the sides of that of the ME controller block. So I'm also kind of filling up. I've completely filled one of my ME drives, and I've started on a couple more here. Storage. Okay, so I created a formula for storage cells, and I'm not quite sure if I want to keep using 1K cells or make the jump up to 4K next, but it's a little pokey, I will admit that. So, so I did make a new interface. I don't know if I demoed this last time, the interface terminal. But what this guy allows you to do is access all the connected machines, technically all the connected interfaces, and look at and pull and push all of the crafting formulas. I can move them around between machines and without having to walk down to the lower levels now. And so that's going to really speed up some of my crafting. And so you see here, I have some interfaces that weren't normally detected. And you can take an interface and put it in a anvil and name it, and that will actually allow it to appear with a special name within the ME system. So let's see what we can do next. Alright, let's jump into the quest book and take a look at how the world enhances. And so the next thing, well, there's two things I really want to tackle today, and that is getting ready to produce upgrades, and the other item is start working on this solar powered generator. So I think the upgrade thing might be simpler because of those quest rewards. Let's take a look over here. So, speed upgrade and energy upgrades. So, speed upgrade is going to be a little complicated. I'm going to need some enriched alloy, cobalt plate, and mana lens. And then the accompanying one is going to need ardite plate, a mana lens, and enriched alloy. So, let's take a look at what I have so far. Nothing. Okay. So over here in the rolling machine, I've been able to make some cobalt plate. I don't think I've made any ardite plate yet. Okay, I do have ardite plate. Okay. So within the upgrades, yep, I'm missing the center now of each of them. So let's take a look. That's going to require mana lens of velocity, which is going to require a rune of air and a rune of water mixed in with mana lenses. So do I have the material to create these lenses? Okay, so the mana lens itself I don't have a formula for yet. Well, that's easily remedied. So just like that, let's throw it in the crafting system. Bam. Now I can make as many as I need. Awesome. So let's grab that. And also I'll need one rune of air and one rune of water. And that means I'm probably going to need to replace them soon. Let's take a look over here. Air and water. There we go. Velocity and efficiency. Great. So let's throw those back into the ME system and create the upgrades. Well, actually, let's do it back at the pattern terminal, so that way I can, in the future, prep for additional automation of these guys, because I have a feeling I'm probably going to need to do that. So let's just at least capture the encoded patterns. So let's grab one of those and one of those. Great. And then within the quest book, complete, and yeah, that's going to be great. Oh, I have to pick a reward. I think I'm going to want speed for now. I can always do energy later, but I think the key is going to be I need to be able to produce things as fast as possible, so that way I can let's see, the crushing factory could probably use some upgrades. So let's take 3 of these and throw them into this block here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, increase the speeds of machinery. And so that's definitely working a little faster. So let's take a couple of these, 1, 2, 3, throw it into the smeltery. And can I throw them in here too? Yeah, let's just throw the rest into the infusion gadget. And let's throw the energy upgrade in also. Excellent. Alright, so the next step is going to be making parts for a solar evaporation multi-block. And so this is going to get a little complicated. So let's buckle up and get ready to craft. So, okay. Solar everything. So, if I'm going to craft advanced solar generators, I need to be able to make the smaller ones in bulk. And yeah, I don't have the parts for much of this, but okay, I'm also not quite ready to make, can I at least make reinforced alloy? Yes, so let's craft up a request for more of those. And so let's see what I need to do as far as a low-hanging fruit. So solar panel was missing the basic controller. And the basic controllers, let's make up a batch of those, which now means I should be able to make solar panels. Nope, not quite. Okay. I'm waiting on the enriched iron. Got it. Which is waiting on the biofuel. Okay, so the automatic crafting of the biofuel is kind of slowing this guy down. Actually, is the enrichment... Let's take a look over here. Basic enriching factory, crushing, smelting. Alright, so this is now feeding, okay, pretty cool. Alright, so let's get back to checking the status. Okay, now it's making, I had to make the enriched iron in order to craft the, okay, that's probably what's going on. Alright, so, back to here, and back to solar. Okay, so solar panels, I should be able to make with the formulas now, so let's put that in. Which now means I should be able to make 2 more. For a total of 3. Am I able to make 3? No. Okay, so let's just put that here and make 1 more. This was getting a little confused. Okay. Solar generators are missing what? Another energy tablet. Alright. Well, I have the ability, okay, I have a formula for that. Done. So now, the small solar generator should now be achievable. Okay. Bada bing. Done. So let's take a look here. In order to make an advanced solar generator, I'm going to need 4 solar generators. Well, let's send in a request. Alright, what am I missing? So this is going to be a pretty large order, of which I'm missing osmium plate. Okay, which means I need to make up a batch of plate over here in the rolling machine. So this is going to take a little while, so why don't I take a quick break and I'll come back when this is done. Alright, this is about the 3rd or 4th batch of osmium plate, so that should be enough for me to get going here. So let's take a look at what I can do with solar gadgets so far. So each of the advanced solar generators are going to need 4 base solar generators. So let's craft those up now and see if I can get the whole package. Okay, so those are going to require, okay, more enriched iron, which looks to be my sticky spot right here. Yeah, the carbon's providing okay, but the actual crafting here is not. So let's see if I can remember how to extract these. So increase the speed of machine. Okay, yes, so I can actually click the down arrow and pull those back out, which is pretty cool. So adding the 3 back in here will increase the speed and also increase the RF use. But we can see that now this is running quite a bit faster than it was before. Okay, with that, it's already done. So I'm going to have to get my hands on some more of those speed upgrades. That's pretty cool. Alright, so hey, it actually finished. So, advanced solar. Oh good, I have everything to make a formula. Great. So, let's throw that in. And can I just auto-craft 1, 2, 3, 4 of these? No, I am missing quite a number of things. I'm going to need 205 osmium plates. I'm going to need a bit more steel and a lot of iron chipsets. Okay, so that I'm definitely going to have to pause for. So iron is going to need to go down in the assembly table. Throw these guys in. And I need a lot more redstone. Okay. Alright, these have been running for quite a while, and you can see I upgraded the number of lasers that I had in order to speed this up. So let's throw this into the system and see what I can churn out. So drop that in. Let's take a look at the solar, and I should have everything finally to craft. Alright, and go. So this is going to be churning out wrought iron into what looks like a lot of enriched iron. I'm going to be making enriched alloys and circuit boards downstairs. So all of this is going to take quite a while to run, it looks like. So let's let that tick. And while we're going, let's take a look at what I need for the solar blocks. So I'm going to need 1 controller and 2 valves and 32 evaporation blocks. So those look like candidates for automation to me, but okay, so solar evaporation controller, 3 elites, 2 steel casing, block of copper. I have all that. Do I need to... I don't think I can select directly from the pattern terminal. Alright, so what am I missing? Elite control circuit. Okay, 2 elite control circuits. And that in itself is going to require a lot of crafting too. So are these going to be able to work in parallel? Probably not. Okay, so while that's running, okay, these are going to require 2 more elite control circuits, and third piece, evaporation block. Oh, I'm going to need a lot of these, of which I'm missing the tank, of which the tank is missing portable tank. What can a portable tank do? Bucket mode, inventory. No idea. And I'm missing chips. correction, circuits. Okay. Am I able to do any of this, or is this just going to end up all queued up also? Alright, well, I guess I'm going to have to wait for this to burn down then. So, at this point, I'm waiting on a lot of circuit boards, a lot of enriched iron, so I will cut back when these are closer to complete. Okay, now while this is running, there's one other thing I've been wanting to do for a while, and that is to work on the wireless components of the ME system. So, in order to do this, I'm going to need to craft a couple of wireless receivers and a wireless terminal. And that in itself is not too terrible. The wireless receivers are going to require Fluix pearls. So let me grab 2 of those. I'll make 2 of these wireless receivers. I'm going to need some ME terminals. Okay, I have at least one. Let's key up another one while that's going. No CPUs are available. Okay. Maybe not. Crafting. I'm able to make... okay, what am I able to make? So, I think the problem is... Yeah, this is the biofuel is continuously running. I guess I could pause the biofuel while these are still executing components. Actually, I can make I think I can make a small crafting. Can I make a 1K crafting storage? No, because I'm going to need to make one of these. Okay, crafting unit, a 1K crafting storage, and I should be able to hook that up to this block. Okay, so that'll give me one more channel where I can do some crafting. Alright, so back to the wireless, to the ME terminal. So let's make one more of these. And the other thing I need to make is a security terminal. So this guy's going to be a little bit more complicated. ME chest is, kind of a useful block that lets you look at the. Basically, it's a single block ME system. It lets you look at the contents of a single storage cell, but that's not what I need to do right now. What am I missing? I'm missing a 16K, which I did make the formula for. Do I have all the parts? Oh, no, I don't. So let's key that up too. Okay, and that's going to craft in the that's going to do auto crafting in the inscribing area. So has not finished yet. Great, now it's done. Security terminal. And so back to the wireless devices. The last piece I'm going to need for a wireless terminal is a dense energy cell. Well, I don't have any of the base ones, but I did make a formula for it. So that's going to make some more quartz glass, and queue that up. And this is still ticking. Wow. Okay. Long pole in the tent, enriched iron. Okay, so back to wireless. And done. Dense energy cell, which means I can now make one of the wireless terminals. And because I am standing on this plate, that wireless terminal is starting to charge up. Awesome. So let's drop down the security terminal. I don't know, over here? Yep, and that should link up. And what I can do is I can take my wireless terminal and drop it into this socket in the upper right. What that's going to do is key that this terminal is now linked to my ME system. Excellent. So let's go back over here. And the very last thing I need to do is get back to this wireless receiver, of which I must have consumed one of them without realizing it. And I also don't have any more Fluix dust. Oh, here it is. It was still sitting in the inventory of the other crafting terminal. Okay, so let's come over here and attach it to the ME system. Alright, I'm derping out because my memory just isn't what it is. So the wireless receiver is a component of this wireless access point. So that is actually the last thing that I need to build here in the wireless access point. Done, done, and that I should be able to attach to any point in the ME system. Great. And are we online? Device online. Which now means, as I'm wandering around the base, right click, I can now access my ME terminal from a simple inventory. You know, I can't craft from here unless I've set up an auto crafting formula, but I can search and I can extract and insert items. Great. So that is going to save me a lot of time in the future. Okay, so it looks like the problem with the crafting was that everything got jammed up here in the metallurgic infuser, and it turns out that this buffer here has a 1000 unit cap, and so when I tried to make more than a single stack of iron, it didn't know how to route it, so that's why it got stuck. And oh, wireless out of range. Interesting. What is the range? About that far. Okay. So I can monitor the crafting remotely. Okay, but I can't use the wireless access point from all the way over there. So wireless booster. All right. So the wireless booster is a an add-on to the wireless access point that basically can exponentially increase the range of the wireless terminal. So, do I have ender dust? No, I don't. In fact, I don't even have. I seem to be running out of ender pearls. All right, ender pearls are go. All right, so I'm just going to pull all these out, a couple stacks, dump them back in here. How about one of those Fluix dusts? Can I make 10 of those? Sure. And so let's head back up here. Is the crusher in use? Oh, definitely it is. Okay. So once that's done, I'll dump in the ender pearls, and I think I'll make a formula for that too. I don't know if I'm going to need more ender dust in the future. Alright, let's throw that in to get that ticking. Yep, okay. So ender pearls make ender dust. Done. And done. So let's check out the booster. Yep, great. So one of this combination will make 2 boosters. And I think I only ever need like 32. I think that's what I found out from Agrarian Skies, that I can very easily bankrupt my base. Basically totally consume all the RF power in order to run the range extender. Yep, there we go. So let's throw these in to the access point, right click. So right now it's using 16 RF a tick. That can up it to 36 RF a tick. And so I about well, doubled the range, maybe 1.5 times. So that at least will let me use it from up here. So I should be able to dump things a little easier into the factory. All right, so that's still crushing biofuel. Let's take a look at where we are in the crafting. Oh, everything is done. Awesome. So that means I now have 4 advanced solar generators. Excellent. Advanced solar generators are not showing in my quest book. Why is that? That's really confusing. Okay. Well, not sure what to say about that. Solar evaporation controller. Okay, well that detected that. Solar evaporation valve. We're going to require circuits. Which I'm running out of osmium plate again. Yep. So let's throw another stack over here. So I'm a little disappointed. Alright, if I throw that down. Okay, each one of these is only going to... Oh, wait a minute. 80,000 RF. But what's the... I guess I'm going to have to wait for daytime to see how these guys stack up. Alright, it's daytime, and I've hooked these guys up into the network. And if I right-click on them, it says that each one is making 240 RF per tick. And there's no internal, well, there is an internal buffer of 80,000, and I'm a little apprehensive about having to recreate these. I know that some quests in the quest book require you to manually craft them in a crafting block or a crafting table instead of the ME system, but that would be such a frustrating thing if I have to go back and redo all of that. So unfortunately, I think that I'm going to call it an episode there. So if you could, please leave a comment or a like. Let me know how I'm doing. And I'm going to look into this in between episodes. And, you know, if I have to rebuild it, I'll rebuild it. But I'm not going to cheat him in. But it's going to take a while to get all the resources again. So I guess with that, I will see you next time in Regrowth. Bye!